Guys, welcome back to the show. I'm so excited to bring you this one. Today, we're talking about the only ways that are left to make money in crypto. Spoiler alert, there are not that many. In actual fact, it's very, very hard to make money in crypto these days. So, I'm going to go through what has been unsuccessful, and eventually I'm going to tell you the exact way you can be successful in this space. So, without further ado, let's get into the show.
This video is for information and entertainment only. It reflects my personal opinions and is not financial advice. Check the description for more information. Always do your own research.
All right, welcome back, guys. We've got another whiteboard. I mean, it's not a whiteboard, but you know what I'm saying. Show. These are actually some of my favorite shows to make. Today, we're talking about the truth of making money in crypto, okay? And to be honest with you, the stats are absolutely terrible. Like, they're harrowing to look at. And I really want to bring this forward, right? Because most people, especially like people in the space, the actual products that they offer are not designed to try and help the average person make money. You know, it's not that anybody's lying about stuff. It's just the reality of like trading. Most people lose money. Most meme coin traders lose money. Most traders on PolyMarket lose money. Most short-term holders of Bitcoin are underwater. 92% of short-term holders right now are in a loss. Maybe that's, you know, going to change by the time you see this video because Bitcoin's rallying. But the reality is most people come into crypto because they think it's a get rich quick scheme. And it is so not, maybe it used to be that, maybe you used to be able to get away with that sort of approach. But as Bitcoin becomes, or as crypto becomes more institutionalized, much more adopted, as these protocols and blockchains and tech actually begin to proliferate across the globe, which we're seeing now, right? The opportunities are no longer massive in terms of just being able to throw darts at the wall and hope one sticks. I did a full show on projects that have a chance of succeeding in crypto now. I'll link it down below. It was called How to Not Lose Money or Not Light Money on Fire in Crypto or something like that. And it outlines like 6 key things that projects need to go through to basically succeed. Would recommend going to watch that. But today, I'm specifically talking about the truth about making money in crypto, right? And as I said, honestly, it's like not that great to look at. Like, this is the scoreboard. Okay, so a study from 2023, so imagine how old that is, like found that 81% of people lost money. I can assure you that number's higher now. 86% of people trading on Hyperliquid are unprofitable. That number gets higher like every day. Generally, whether it's crypto or any other exchange, you know, options traders, all that sort of stuff, trading generally, this isn't exclusive to crypto in any way, shape or form. Most traders lose money. 95% of traders, give or take, lose money. 99% of meme coin traders have never made more than 10 grand. This is the status quo. Most people do not end up being profitable in crypto. And the reasons are really simple. It's this get rich quick mindset, this idea that crypto is suddenly going to make people rich. It's what keeps people from not building wealth. And even when we look at like things like airdrop farming, right? Airdrop farming can be profitable, but again, the tokens when they get distributed, you know, 88% lose value within the first 3 months, and it's probably higher than that again. And the reality of that also is that to hit the winners, you have to go through a bunch of losers. And I'm going to go through that in a minute. But you can see here, like, the only thing that's green in this whole list is Bitcoin holders all time. Now, that, obviously, there's other tokens that have like gone up a lot, like Solana's gone up a lot, Hyperliquid's gone up a lot. I'm not saying the only people in crypto who've made money ever are Bitcoin holders. Don't get it twisted. What I'm saying, just broad picture, the only like long-term people who've really made money in crypto are people who've held Bitcoin or other majors for long enough, really, for those tokens to like actually do their thing. And don't get it twisted. I'm not saying the only way to invest in crypto is by buying and holding and never selling, like never getting out of things. That's obviously not true either. But just look at these stats. They're just absolutely awful, right? Just terrible, terrible stats. Meme coins are like a graveyard. You know, 97% of pump tokens are down massively from their highs. Only 293 wallets have made over $1 million in pump, right? On pump. And that's the majority of the profits have gone to very few traders. 3% of traders have made more than 1 grand. Like, the median holding time of a meme on Solana is 100 seconds. Like, that is a slot machine with extra steps. And just look at this horrible data on Trump. 760,000 wallets lost money on the token. You know, of the people who made money, 77% of those people made less than $100. These are just like terrible, terrible statistics, and highlight the fact that it's so challenging to make money in that market. And yes, some people do, right? Some people do. Of course, some people do, but most people just get chewed up and spat out. In perps, again, most people lose money. It's not an easy thing to do. It's highly skilled, it's very challenging, and you're competing in very competitive markets against incredible people who are highly sophisticated. Like, these things are really, really hard to succeed in. And then obviously you have like events like October 10th, where the entire market just gets absolutely decimated. And look, here's just the numbers. If you're trading with 2x leverage, a 50% move to the downside wipes you out. If you're trading with 10x leverage, a 10% move wipes you out. If you're trading with 50x leverage, it's a 2% move. These things happen daily. 50% moves to the downside happen in traditional markets sometimes, you know, once a lifetime. So you're gonna get liquidated holding any of these positions in crypto for prolonged periods. It's a guaranteed fact. Prediction market, supposedly loads better for everybody. In reality, most people still lose money. The smartest people in the room still take the majority of the share. And again, airdrop farming, as I said, airdrop farming for me is the one thing that I've actually been best at. But still, it takes ages to get good enough at this sort of thing to actually start making money in it. You can think of it like VC investing, right? Airdrop farming is very much like VC investing. You spread bets across multiple different protocols and you hope that one pays 10 times more than the fees you spent. Really, it needs to pay like 50 times more than the fees you spent because all the other ones are small little losses, generally. What do I mean by that? Generally, to qualify for an airdrop, you'd have gone and used something and you'd have spent money and time using the thing. And look, Hyperliquid had 94,000 wallets. The average payout was like $630. This is at the time. It's actually much higher than that now. I guess it's 20x higher than that now. Like the average payout was really, really, really good. But most are not like that, right? Most are not like that at all. And look, there were a few people that just farmed Hyperliquid, yes, and they hit the jackpot. But most people who farmed Hyperliquid also farmed other perp dexes. For me, I farmed 5 other dexes where I lost more than my fees. I lost thousands of dollars on all of these other perp dexes before I actually made money in Hyperliquid. The same with ZKSync. I farmed a bunch of other L2s before that one ZKSync payout was actually made all the rest of it worthwhile. Now, what I'm trying to get at here, right, is not that there's no way to make money in crypto at all. And I'm not even saying that the only way to do it is to just buy Bitcoin and forget about it. Although history does tell us that that is probably the easiest, most successful thing you can do in crypto, because basically everything has underperformed crypto on a multi-cycle kind of time frame. Has just been to buy Bitcoin and, you know, do not a lot else really. There's some amazing stories of, you know, like Simon Dixon, who's like an incredible Bitcoin OG, and Barry Silbert, these kind of guys that they took their Bitcoin, they were early, they made a lot of money, and they went and they invested in Bitcoin-based businesses, Coinbase, Kraken, like things that are trying to move the needle forward in the space. They would have been better off just holding their Bitcoin because Bitcoin is just so hard to outperform. And then obviously right now we've got like a bunch of short-term holders in a loss, but the key thing with Bitcoin is like, there's a pretty crazy stat. If you've bought Bitcoin and held it for 4 years, every single person is in profit, which is, you know, a crazy stat really when you think about it. 100% of 4-year holders are in profit if that's regarding just Bitcoin, right? Can't really be said for any other multi-cycle tokens yet. They're not to say that it might not be the case in 2027, further out into the future. Maybe it's all going to be fine. We're all going to have loads of money because we held our absolutely useless tokens down to zero and back again. But the real lesson is skills, right? Crypto, just like every other thing in the world, when it comes to making money, is all about learning skills. And if we go through here, right, like these are the people who really make money in crypto. You've got people who can make money with bots on MEV kind of sandwiches. That means nothing to you. It just means they make bots on Solana, on Ethereum, and they extract money from traders. That's essentially what they do. Market makers, these guys are actually making the market, right? And these guys are making money on trading fees, essentially. Not quite the same as an exchange making money on trading fees, but give or take, that is what they're doing. You know, smart money, Nansen tracks 10,000 smart money wallets out of 300 million. So less than 0.01% of wallets are smart. You can follow those smart money wallets, obviously, is a strategy. But those guys are taking in data. It's like a pure information gap. They've got on-chain analytics. They're in alpha groups. They've got inside information from different networks. Unless you have that access to that information, you're not going to be able to follow those results. Professional traders as well. Like, trading is an incredibly hard skill to learn, which costs an awful lot from a tuition perspective. There are lots of profitable traders that you can learn from, and you can go through the process of learning those things. But people think that making money in crypto is easy. It is not easy. Trading in crypto is not easy. Yes, some people, 5 years ago bought some useless token and it hit 100x, and then they think they're a good trader forever. But those people have got down-only portfolios in the last 3 or 4 years, right? Because they learned nothing along the way. The bottom line is this: there's no get rich quick in crypto anymore. And the data is overwhelming. The vast majority of active participants lose money across every category, each platform, most strategies. And like even Bitcoin holders in the last, year are underwater as well. Bitcoin holders from the peak in 2021 are only just in the green. Yes, that 4-year skill, that 4-year hold pattern has held up, which is, pretty incredible. But the bottom line is this, right? If you don't think you can pick stocks, for example, and beat the market, don't think you can do the same with crypto. It's the same thing. You're trying to pick winners in a sea of what are essentially things that tend to bleed to the market. The market obviously just being like Bitcoin in this case. Normally, most people underperform the stock market, right? Like most active fund managers, most people who actively manage portfolios underperform the S&P 500. And so that's most fund managers, let alone most retail participants who are like trading. They definitely underperform. Most of them do. So the only real way in crypto, honestly, is to basically be patient. Just like you're patient in stocks and equities, you have to be patient in crypto. That does not mean buying and holding for everything and just becoming a bag holder. It still requires thoughtful consideration as to what you can hold, what can be bought, holding only the good stuff, getting rid of all the shit stuff. It's essential. And actually the only thing that's really has played out with, right, is Bitcoin for the most part. Most of those other things do not follow that same hold them for 4 years, you'll be profitable cycle. Solana's not done that. Ethereum hasn't done that. Maybe they will in the future, but so far they haven't. Most of these things do underperform Bitcoin. And the second way you can actually make money in crypto is learning a skill. The profitable minority have real skills. I can't stress this enough. They haven't just randomly been lucky one time. They've developed a real skill set, whether that's trading, whether it's on-chain analysis, whether it's trading based upon the news, whether it's understanding, being really in the weeds of which protocols are going to be launching tokens soon and trying to farm those tokens, knowing that they're trading their time and their fees potentially for nothing or potentially for something in the future. Market making, quantitative modeling. These things often take years to develop. There's no shortcuts. The edge is in doing real stuff and really learning stuff. The edge isn't in listening to someone on YouTube like me. Don't just listen to what I say and be like, oh my God, this guy knows everything, or this guy knows nothing. The real edge is listening, learning from everybody you can, and understanding what are the things or what are the skills that allow these people to make money in this space. And I can tell you very, very simply, the skills are hard work, consistency, and paying the cost of tuition. That cost of tuition isn't necessarily doing a course with somebody, although you can pay for a course. Personally, I learned all my trading stuff from Eric Crown. I mean, Crown's just an incredible guy, but one of the best traders in the space. And he has an amazing, absolutely incredible trading course. And you can go and do that. Kyle did Crown's course. I did Crown's course. Crown's amazing. Anyway, you can go and learn these skills, right? Watching different people on YouTube, understanding their frame of reference is so useful for learning these skills, but you have to go away and learn them. And if you haven't got time to go away and learn this stuff, then just being more of a passive investor is almost certainly the right strategy. Otherwise, you're just going to get wrecked like 99% of people who come into crypto because they think it's a get-rich-quick scheme. What is life-changing is earning money, using that money to invest, and having that investment compound over time, letting the power of compounding and consistently putting in money and letting that compound. That is the key breakthrough. And most people are going to make more money by focusing on a skill whether that's a sellable skill, whether it's a skill inside crypto, whether it's a skill making money somewhere else. Most people are going to make more money by investing in a skill, learning a skill, and then using that skill to then go and DCA into things that compound well over time. Now, I'm not saying that it's 100% should be Bitcoin. In fact, I'm not saying any percentage, because that would be financial advice, which I'm absolutely not giving you. Who's to say where Bitcoin's going to be in the next 4 years? I will leave you with this, though. Like, I think this is important. This is Bitcoin against the M2 money supply. And what you can see, and when the M2 money supply, right, if you didn't know what it is, it's not the only way to measure inflation. In fact, it's not the best way to measure inflation. But the M2 money supply is like the money, the real money in the US economy, the sort of money that is in bank accounts, people can actually access, right? And the M2 money supply, I can show you actually, is this chart, right? And this chart, since 1960, has just gone up and to the right. But you can think of M2 as being the purest form of money that is actually in people's pockets, right? That's really driving the price of consumer goods up almost. And this is Bitcoin against the M2 money supply. What do you see? Bitcoin against the ever-inflating money supply makes higher highs all the time, or has made higher highs and higher lows all throughout history. So this high here is from like 2025, right? But look at this, right? Look at this. This is gold against the M2 money supply. Now, what do you notice here? Well, gold against the M2 money supply peaked in 1980. So what does that tell you? It means relative to all the money that's been pushed into the economy, gold was more expensive in the past. So gold hasn't kept pace with the continued expansion of the money supply. If gold was the price that it at the peak, it would be 13.3K today. So I know this is kind of hard to wrap your head around, so I'm just going to say it again. We're looking at an asset and we're comparing it not against its dollar value, but against the amount of dollars that are circulating. Okay, and the amount of dollars that are circulating is ever expanding. That's just the nature of the economy that we live in. Again, another show you should probably check out, the one I did with Jeff Booth recently. Jeff goes into all this stuff, and it's like really eye-opening to kind of see it from his perspective. But fundamentally, gold against US M2 peaked in 1980 and hasn't gone. I mean, it only just broke the sort of like 2010 high. Look, you can see here, this is 2010, and it's only just broken that 2010 high now. So relative to all the money in circulation, gold was more expensive in the past. That means it's essentially lost purchasing power, even though it's gone up a lot, relative to how much money has been pushed into the economy. And then look at this. This is the S&P 500 against the money supply. Again, the S&P 500 against the money supply peaked in 1999. So this recent run back to like basically new all-time highs has not taken the SPX higher against the money supply. What does this tell you? It says, again, essentially, the rate of money supply growth in the US has grown faster than asset prices, which is opposite to what it looks like in its dollar value, right? If we look at it in its dollar value, then of course these things look like they've just ripped up and to the right, right? This is gold. Let me get rid of this. And this is gold against its dollar value. It's just gone absolutely mental in its dollar value. And this is that 1980 high when it hit 850. But there was less dollars in circulation back here. So even though gold has, done a 450% move in that time frame, the reality is the money supply has expanded at 20x that, right? The money supply in 1980 was $1.5 trillion. And today it's $22.4 trillion. So the money supply has gone from 1.5 trillion to 22.4 trillion, and gold's only gone from 850 to 4.7, or call it 5K. So you can really start to understand the money supply has been growing rapidly, and these are assets that have taken on that money supply, that asset inflation, have actually underperformed it. And the only thing that hasn't is Bitcoin. Now, you can make of that whatever you want, and maybe this is the Pico top and Bitcoin just trends down from here forever, right? Maybe this Bitcoin chart, the 1, 2, 3 highs, is going to play out exactly like this gold chart, the sort of like peak back here and it never really breaks higher. Or maybe it's the SPX chart and it peak, the 1999 peak is the same as the Bitcoin peak from the end of 2025, and it doesn't break that high again. Maybe, but something is going to be able to outperform the money supply. And so far, the best answer that anybody has had has been Bitcoin. So make of that what you will. Right, guys, that was a long one. And if you managed to stay with me throughout, thank you very much. I really hope you got something from this. It's not doom and gloom. There's loads of opportunities, but learning a skill is the most important thing you can possibly do with your time. Once you get that skill, you can then develop on it and build on it. Crypto is not a get-rich-quick scheme. In fact, it's not even a get-rich-that-slow scheme. It's a potentially an asset class, the best performing asset class of the last 18 years, 16 years, and one that could continue to be one of the best performers because it's on the edge of the world we're going into. Financialized technology in a decentralized manner. Personally, that's something I think I am betting on the future needing more of that. Who knows if I'm right or wrong. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Please give the video a like. Subscribe to the channel. And also, if you click the subscribe button, you'll see access to Risk Takers as well. Go and subscribe to Risk Takers and check out all those shows that I mentioned. The one with Crown, the one with Jeff Booth. These shows really help give you that full education into what on earth is going on in this world at the moment. Guys, before I go, I just want to quickly tell you about today's sponsor, MetaMask. MetaMask is so much more than just being a wallet provider now. You've obviously got Bitcoin integrations, Solana integrations, integrations to Hyperliquid and PolyMarket, all inside one application, even RWAs, all inside one application. Incredibly convenient. This came in the post though yesterday. Their new card, right? Very, very cool. Comes in like this. You can open it up. And this metal card came in the post just yesterday. Very, very cool. Any money that I've got in MetaMask, I can just go and spend anywhere that accepts MasterCard. Incredibly convenient. Massive thanks to MetaMask for sponsoring the channel. Heavily appreciated. And of course, not necessarily supported in all regions. Crypto is inherently risky. Never, ever, ever, ever invest money you can't afford to lose. This is the entire point of today's show. But MetaMask, thank you so much for the sponsorship, and incredibly convenient. I can just take money that exists on chain and spend it in the real world, anywhere that accepts MasterCard. So thanks to MetaMask. Thanks to you guys so much for watching the show. Let me know what you think in the comments. Have a great day. I shall see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.